and let me know when it's rolling.
Always rolling.
Oh,
You want me to stop and start again?
no, it's all right. It's rolling. Okay, hi. Okay. All right. So one of the things, what I want you to notice about this is that each of these areas, there are a few hard edges, like between the snow and the other area, but a lot of the edges are very softened, or they make this beautiful transition. That's really what this is about, is getting a transition here. So this is going to take like several goes at it to build it up. And so our first layer, I'm going to use raw sienna. That's raw, not burnt, okay? And
That Quinn Gold,
no, raw sienna.
raw sienna.
Raw sienna. And let's see, I'll get some cerulean out here. Well, we'll see what happens with that. That's probably not enough, but that's a start. So what I'm doing is I'm just going to loosely put some color in this area. And you will notice on your drawings the very sketchy edges. And you may not even want to draw the edges. That's one of the reasons, yeah, I kind of wanted to wait. So this comes on off, and oh, look, see, there's some nice dry brush. Well, I want to keep that dry brush. Okay, so we got a little bit of that. Let's drop a little bit of blue into it. Well, this is very wet on dry. So that gets us a little something going on. I think we'll go ahead and put a little burnt umber in there. Oh, I don't want too much. It's nice if you've got some little white holes. This guy uses a lot of white in his painting. And so like the snow on here, that's all white. All those daisies you see in all those pictures, I think most of those are done that way. But he doesn't actually tell you. He doesn't tell you what kind of paper he uses or anything that I've ever found. Not that I've read the book, but, you know, if I had, it probably wouldn't have anyway. So
Just
maybe...
look at the pictures.
Huh? Yeah, I pretty much, yeah, just look at the pictures. So I want to soften a couple of edges here. And then I'm going to take the credit card wherever they went. They were flying. What?
They're right underneath there.
Oh,
Well, they were.
they were, oh, okay, here. Now, the thing about this, all I'm doing here, and this is my idea, it's not what he tells you to do, and I don't think it's what he did, but I'm going to damage the paper. And it's going to absorb differently. It's going to give us a little bit of different texture, and it's going to create a little bit of, you could see some of the lines in here where, you know, where things are happening. This isn't that one, but anyway. So to do this, you need not one of those, you need a real credit card. I mean, you don't want one of those cardboardy ones. It won't do it. And what you're going to do is you're going to press down really hard. So, like, and I try to change directions some. And I'm not going to do it everywhere. I'm just going to make a few things happen. We see that's already got a little bit of interesting confusion of some kind. Oh, you could even pull it up. No, never mind. So I'm just doing a little bit of that in this. And that's basically my first go at this. So what I wanted you to do is, I want you to take a scrap, and I want you to do something like this. And then I want you, and I'm on the back of the 300-pound paper, just because it's got a little more texture. That's your choice. You know, it's not a big deal. But I'm going to suggest you do this, you know, practice. And then you do your drawing while this is drying. And then we're going to have a second step for you to do on this before you actually start working on the real thing. Does anybody have questions?
So you're saying 2 pieces of paper, one to practice
Yeah,
with,
yeah, scrap to practice
and one
on.
for real.
Yeah, one for real piece of paper, a real piece of paper, and a practice. I really don't even care that this is still moist. Maybe I should, but I don't. Okay, so now what we want is we want to add some depth into it. And everywhere we scraped is going to influence things because there's going to be more absorbency in textured absorbency in some of those areas. If you have textured paper, it'll be more pronounced. So I'm going to get out the burr number 2, and let's see. Part of what I'm looking for is he's got areas that see there's some soft things going on in there, and it just suggests activity and brush and stuff without showing any details. Then we're going to add some of the little detail stuff that really, y'all know the thing, the guy did a demo one time at SWA. I think he had cows or sheep or something, but what he does is he shows that he's got one cow that you can tell what it is, and then the rest are just little dots out there. Yeah. And automatically when you see one cow, all those other dots are cows too. You know, that's what your brain does. Well, this is sort of the same way. You got a few little weeds and bits of detail in here, and all the rest of this just becomes that too without your putting it in there, which makes it better than if you try to put every weed in there, because you know what that does. All right, so let's come in and let's just, and I am trying to change the direction of my brush. You could use any brush you want as long as you're working kind of juicy and kind of staying on the big side right now. Don't get into little details yet. So I'm going to soften some edges, and you can see where that's absorbing more into where I stroked right here. And so I'm getting some extra texture. So that's what I want is, I think I want this to get a little stronger, and I think I need to go a little grayer. So I've taken my burr number, and I'm going to put a little bit of ultramarine into it. Oh, yeah. Okay. So I've made sort of like a raw umber or something. So I've got like burnt, and I've got like raw. Oh, there's blue. Well, you got blue weeds, I guess. You know. Okay, let's just add a little brown on it. And so we're trying to get a little variety, and I'm getting a lot of hard edges up here because this area is drier. So what I want to do is, I really don't want those to be particularly crisp. So I'm going to soften a lot of the edges, but maybe not all of them. You know, you just have to be kind of selective and discover. You know, you kind of discover it as you paint it. You start to see things in something, and you begin to alter what you're doing. This doesn't quite look like the picture. Oh, by the way, it doesn't have to look like the picture. The idea is to get the, because mine did, and I'm going to say that, right? The idea is to just get the feel of it, that being able to suggest something without detailing it. And I think that's one of the hardest things for people being myself, being a people too, to do.
You're a people?
So, you know, I was when I woke up this morning. Okay, so I'm kind of doing a little, I want to leave some of those light areas. That's why we put a light area in first. And we're building up levels of complexity as we do this. So, and let's go a little grayer. So I've changed color in here. It's pretty subtle in that these are all kind of neutrals, but we've got a variety of from a warm brown to practically a blue in here, and that starts to feel colorful. Now, while this is damp, let's start to put in some edges, some little bits of stuff. And what this is going to do, what I'm putting in here right now, is going to blend into this, so you don't see the base of it. You're more making a silhouette that's just very complex. So, and here's where I would really go, looking at his and kind of what he's got in there, because you can see he's got a few grass strokes, and then he's just got little blobs that kind of look like leaves or burrs or, you know, pods of some kind. And they're just, you know, like his little pod leaf things that half the time they're not attached to anything.
Do you
So
think those white spots are,
that's snow.
no, but do you think you did that with white ink splatter?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, that's the very end. So, so he's not doing something like this. Okay, stay the heck away from that. Okay, control yourselves, because that's the first thing that, you know, comes to mind when we think about something like this. I hear giggles, and I hope that means you're receiving this positively. Okay, so just and some of these areas, see where it's wet and it's been chewed up a little bit here with a credit card. See, a credit card can chew up your finances or your paper.
The whole world.
Okay, so, you know, and maybe I'll still soften an edge or two, and I'll make a few pale strokes out here along with it. So you see, now I'm getting a transitional edge. And that's a big deal. You know, you don't want like a hard edge and then you go put little trees coming up out of it. You want, so when you get up here onto the dry areas, you know, you have things like that happening. Now, when this is dry, we're going to go back and add a little bit of complexity in here. And he does do this, which I'm not very good at. You know, making like little light areas in here. You know, so he suggested a few things while this is wet. I would say be cautious and don't overdo that. And sometimes it doesn't work that well, but he's just added a little bit of, you know, we've got enough. I've got this torn up enough that I don't even feel like I need that, but, you know, I knew y'all were going to see it and want to do it, so.
Control yourself.
Yeah, control yourself. Self-control, that's the.
There's a duck in there.
There's a what? You found a duck. Oh, no.
There's a duck.
No, I haven't seen it yet.
See? Wings.
Oh, okay. Yes, duck. Okay.
What do you drink?
Can you bring some for all of us?
Yeah.
Next time, bring us also.
So just a little bit of this kind of thing, and then I think I want it to dry before I do much more. But you can just have a little bit of stuff here at the edges yeah, and there's nothing wrong again with, you know, the put a line in and then blot or add water to it, you know, break it up. But see, I've sort of got the edge of something that could be overlapping the snow. So I want you to do this on your practice thing, and then I want you to start your for real, forever
So
painting.
we do it, go ahead and do this on the practice and then go ahead and start on the
And
reel.
then start on the reel. Mm-hmm.